Hello my loves and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing my nightly yoga flow routine, which is in real time. It's like 9:15, almost 9:30 on a Wednesday night. I'm recording this for you. This is exactly what I do. I'm just not in my normal spot. I am recording this in my yoga flow center, but sometimes I just do this in front of my bed. I keep it super simple. Sometimes I don't even roll on my mat, which people may judge me for that, but keep it simple. But stretching first thing in the morning and at night has been such a game changer for my alignment. So without further ado, go ahead and join me wherever you are at, whether you're at a mat or not. I start with my feet a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. We're just going to check our posture really quickly and start to focus on our breathing, taking nice deep inhales and exhales. This is the time when we are winding down for the night. We are checking in with our body, checking in with our awareness. So I usually just start by making sure my posture is nice and good. My hips are tucked in a little bit. My shoulders are up, back, and down. And then I start with some head rolls. So slowly going all the way around. It doesn't matter which side you start with. But man, do we hold a lot of tension in our neck. Going all the way around. Really just observing the tension and then switch directions. Not judging the tension, not making a story about it, but just observing it, maybe breathing into that area. I know I hold a lot of tension on the side that I hold Arlo. So I'm just aware and breathing into it. Back to center, and then let's roll our shoulders up and back. Oh, this feels so good. I do this in the morning and at night. You'll see that my stretches are a little bit the same and also a little bit different from morning and nighttime. Still breathing, still not losing that posture, that strain going from the base of my spine all the way up to the crown of my head. But observing anything that's just coming up in this moment and breathing. Switch directions, pulling your shoulders forward. Beautiful. And come back to center. Let's take a deep breath. This time bringing our arms up with us. And our gaze. Holding at the top for just a moment. And exhaling. One more time. Breathing, inhale, release down. This time we're going to do it and hold it up at the top. Breathing, inhale. This time we're going to lean it to the left side or the right side for you if you're mirroring me. Stretching that side body. Side body stretches are a close second and feeling good to the neck and shoulder rolls. Just such a release for my body at the end of the day. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the other side. Not leaning over when you do this. Still staying in the same plane as your body, but leaning over and feeling that stretch in your side body. Inhale back to center. And this time we're going to exhale, bringing our arms to a T, stretching as far as we can. Stretches are also so beautiful for nighttime, that release before you go to bed. Inhale back to center, arms up. Exhale, reaching out to a T, twisting to the other side. Beautiful. Now this time, inhale back to center and slightly arch back. Elongating with the arms and the spine, slightly arching our back. Exhale down with the arms. Bring your arms behind your back into a bind. Open your chest. Bring your gaze up just a little bit. Feeling those sensations in your body. You can wiggle your hips a little bit here if it feels good. And then release, shake it out. Okay, we're going to keep our feet where they're at. Inhale again, reaching up towards the top, not staying there long. We're going to hinge at the hips, slowly diving forward all the way down, keeping those biceps by your ears, all the way down into a wide leg forward fold. Now here I just like to hang. You can keep your arms where they were at, or you can even tuck your arms into your elbows. Just hanging, swinging back and forth. And this is very similar to my morning stretch, just because these stretches feel so good to my body. So use this as inspiration to maybe come up with your own yoga flow before bed and first thing in the morning. All right, release your hands down. I'm going to keep my left arm on the mat, reaching my right arm up towards the sky into a twist. Stacking my shoulders as much as I can. Releasing down, doing the same thing on the other side. So I'm still in this wide-legged forward fold, while I have one palm on the mat, the other reaching up towards the sky. Lightly twisting my spine, releasing down. Okay, now I'm going to do a quick little maneuver to the side. You can almost kind of do this in like a lunge on your right side, but I'm not going to stay there long. I'm going to go right into a plank, hold it for just a moment, and then you'll find me in tabletop. I'm just going to move my sweatshirt and my hair so you can hear me well. Okay, making sure my shoulders are over my wrists, my hips are over my knees. We're going to do a few cat-cows here. So inhale, dropping the belly, tilting the tailbone up, gaze towards the sky. Exhale, tucking the tailbone in, rounding the back, chin to chest. 2 more times. It's like a wave moving through your body. Inhale, tipping the tailbone up, dropping the belly, gaze towards the sky. Exhale, tucking the tailbone in, rounding the back, chin to chest. 1 more time. And exhale. Now you have 2 options as we go back into child's pose. You can keep your knees together and slowly melt down, bringing our bottom to our feet, or you can bring your knees wide. I like to have my knees wide at night and keep them together in the morning. In the morning, I like to stretch out my lower back. Right now, I want to open my hips. So I'm widening my knees, melting back into child's pose. Again, if you need a lower back stretch, keep those knees together. Feel that elongation all the way from your spine, through your back and your shoulders, all the way through your arms. You can even rest your head on the mat if that feels comfortable for you. But we're going to spend a few breaths here, just kind of finding a spot to melt into, really embodying that relaxation and winding down from our day as we head into some true rest of the night, as we head into some deep rest for nighttime. Anything that needs to come up can come up. And you can just breathe and exhale it away. Release anything that you need to release in this moment. Let's come back up into tabletop for just a moment. Then we'll drop our hips, raise our chest towards the sky. Still elongating that neck. Don't lose your neck here in this upward facing dog. This feels so good for my abdomen muscles throughout the day. Then we're going to tuck our toes in. Hop it up into plank for just a moment and then meet me in downward facing dog. So I'll walk my feet in just a little bit. What's important here is that your back and arms are straight. You can bend your knees a little bit if you need to, pushing those palms into your mat. I always like to walk the dog when I'm in down dog. That just means alternating bending my knees because it feels really good for my hamstrings. But again, feel into what feels intuitive to you for each one of these poses. But we're going to go ahead and inhale, lift that right leg up as high as we can into 3-legged dog. Open it up into a scorpion for just a moment. So that means bringing the bottom of your foot to the opposite side of your mat, opening that hip even farther. and then swing it through into high pigeon. I feel like I could say every pose is my favorite pose, but this one is up there. Pigeon feels so good, especially after a long day. Just opening my hips, I just feel like I hold so much tension and stress in my hips. So again, this is why this is such a game changer to do every night before bed. And stay in these poses as long as it feels good to you. Some days I don't stay here very long. Some days I need like a minute, couple minutes in each one of these poses. Just breathe and like slightly move around as you feel where your body needs the stretch and release. This time is for you. No rushing this, even though our mind wants to rush this. This time is for you. It is truly a gift, so take your time. I am going to go ahead and lower onto my forearms into low pigeon, just taking it even deeper into a stretch. Opening that hip. Not rounding my back as much as I can, still keeping it nice and long. Even rest your hands on your palms or on your hands if that feels good. Breathing into the sensation. Feeling anything that you need to release from those hips melting into the ground. So good. Like wringing out my body after a long day. Right, stay there for a little bit if you need to. I'm going to come back up to high pigeon for just a moment. Oh, one thing I forgot to do, we're going to do it now. It's okay, we're not perfect. We're just going to switch it up a little bit. Is when I'm in high pigeon, and you can stay here if you'd like, but if you want to take it up a notch, you can bring that back foot up. Swing your left hand, so it's the same foot in the same hand, whichever side you're on, around towards the back. Your thumb is up as you hang on to that back foot. I believe this is called mermaid pose. If you can hook it all the way in, I can't stretch it that far. I'm still working on this one. This feels so good for my hip and my quadricep. Breathe into this. Again, you can stay in the high pigeon or stay in low pigeon. It's up to you and what your body needs. One more breath. I'm going to gently release. Bring my hand back around. And then I'm going to tuck that back toe under, swing my leg back, and meet me in downward facing dog. We're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. Let's go ahead and push our palms into the mat. Just elongating that back and our arms. Walking the dog for just a moment. Inhale, lifting that left leg as high as you can into three-legged dog. Opening it up into scorpion to open the hip up even farther. And then gently swinging it through into pigeon. Now, if the swing through isn't graceful, don't judge yourself. Just get into this pose as you need to. With time, I feel like it gets so much easier, but bringing my hips as low as I can to the ground. Really opening that hip. Breathing. Still keeping my chest nice and high. Still elongating my neck. Again, feeling that tension release into the mat. Slowly lowering down onto my forearms. Staying there if you need to. You can see I kind of like to rock back and forth in pigeon. It just feels so good for my hips. But do what feels intuitive to you. Alright, I'm going to bring it back up to high pigeon. And just like we did on the other side, you can either stay here or if you want to raise that back foot, bring the same arm up and around, thumb up, grabbing onto that back foot. Oh, it feels so good in the quadricep as we elongate it. You'll notice each night you do this, you go a little bit deeper into the stretch every single time. Breathing, listening to our body, tuning into what our body needs from us in this time and space. And go ahead and release down. Meet me in low pigeon for just a moment. I'm going to push my palms into the mat. Meet me in plank for a moment and then in tabletop. Let's go ahead and do something a little bit different before we head into Savasana. This is something I've been adding to my night routine and it feels so good, which is putting my feet up for the wall. Why is that hard to say? Putting my feet up the wall for a few minutes each night. So trying to get your butt as close as you can to the wall. Any wall will work great, obviously, but just getting your feet above your heart, especially at the end of the day, feels so good. You can either put one hand on your belly, one hand on your heart. I like to put my hands in cactus pose. That's always a favorite of mine. You can just put your hands on your chest, but stay here for a few moments. This is going to be the ending pose for this practice. Again, if this doesn't feel good or if you can't put your feet above your heart for whatever reason, just stay in regular Savasana or any resting pose that feels good to you. Let's just stay here and take nice, deep, beautiful breaths together as we end our practice after this beautiful day and gifting yourselves this time and space. Just breathe and tune into anything that you need in this moment. Maybe it's more releasing, maybe it's more guidance you need to receive, or maybe just stillness. Breathe and be with whatever is coming up. When it feels right, you can either continue staying here with your feet up the wall or join me in the center of your mat. Sometimes it can be tricky to get out of that pose, so please take your time. So many benefits from putting your feet up the wall for a few minutes every day. Look them up if you want to see all the benefits. And it just feels so good to me to do it, especially before bedtime. So I hope this practice was useful. I hope it helped you relax and calm down and release anything that you needed to before bedtime, or you received exactly what you needed to receive in this practice. But be so proud of yourself for gifting yourself this time and space. Like I said, take this routine and make it your own. And I encourage you to just do a little bit of stretching every night before you go to bed. I'm sending you all so much love, all the high vibes. And of course, I will see you in the next Yoga Flow. Namaste.